Everyone in this world needs an alternative residency and an alternative citizenship. Just they don't know about it.
The Global Passport Investor is your go-to podcast.
Welcome to the latest episode of the Global Passport Investor. I'm your host, Eric Major, an investment migration veteran with over 3 decades in the game. This is one of many episodes where we're going to talk citizenship, residency, and all things investment migration. If you're watching this on YouTube, please leave your questions in the comments section. For those of you listening on the podcast, please email your queries to questions@theglobalpassportinvestor.com. Today, we're talking about Greece residency by investment, also known as the Greek Golden Visa. And before we meet our very special guests, let's go over a bit of background. First of all, where in the world is Greece? As our friends at the Encyclopedia Britannica reveal, Greece is a country that is at once European, it's Balkan, it's Mediterranean, and Near Eastern. It lies at the juncture of Europe, Asia, and Africa, and is heir to the heritage of classical Greeks, the Byzantine Empire, and nearly 4 centuries of Ottoman Turkish rule. Right, I'll take away my geography teacher's hat and move on to explain what residency by investment is. Latitude Group recently published an A to Z guide to investment migration. I'm going to quote their authoritative definition. Residency by investment is your residency rights that you acquire into a country by making a prescribed investment pursuant to the published rules. Instead of a traditional immigration route, it's usually a little faster and more accessible way to enter a new country. You buy property, or you make a donation, or you start a business to enjoy the benefits of your chosen destination. Okay, so let's meet today's very special guest. With me, we have Yanos Trisokas, who is the founder and CEO of Velment. And we have Panos Fortounis, who is the sales manager at Green Properties. Guys, welcome to the show.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah, good to have you both. Now, Yanos, I'm going to start with you because you and I have a bit of work history together. I know all about Velment, but our listeners might not know much about it. So please, could you say condensed history and an overview of the company, please?
Yes. Like a few years ago, we identified the need of a real advisory real estate firm in the industry of citizenship and residency planning. Mm-hmm. Why is that? Because the residency planning, it's very much connected to real estate acquisition. Mm-hmm. So Velment was created in order to guide, in order to understand, first of all, the needs of the clients. So go according to their needs and advise on which property will suit their profile, having in mind what their interest is, having in mind what their wish is, but having in mind what the facts are on the ground. So creating Velment, we bring the needs of the clients on the ground and we help them decide which direction is suitable for them.
Excellent. But having that Golden Visa experience like you have as well. How many years would you say you were in this space before?
I'm in the industry of real estate 20 years and in the industry of real estate connected to residency and citizenship for a decade.
A decade as well. Yeah, time flies. But welcome, Yanos. Yanos is also next to you, your colleague, and thank you again for introducing us to Panos, who's with Green Properties. Green by name and green by nature. If you could describe your company a little bit in terms of its ecological philosophy and how it ties in with sustainability, that would be great.
Indeed, it is green. Green Properties. In Green Properties, we are focusing on the environmental and how we're taking care of it. I mean, we are constructing A+ energy efficiency properties, which this is connected to the way that we are building in.
Is that the highest level in terms of the environmental?
A+ is the highest that you can build in Greece as we speak. Mm-hmm. And this is coming out of, for example, solar panels on the roof that you're producing electricity, that you are using for the common spaces, elevators, basements, and things like that. We're using solar energy to heat the water, LED lighting, double glazed windows.
Okay.
So we are bringing up all these facilities, let's say, to achieve the highest level of energy efficiency properties.
And how long has Green Properties been around? Is it a company that's been established for some time, or?
The company is in the industry of construction for decades. We can say that we are number one choice of the locals, and this is what we are doing mostly. So we are selling to the local market in a big percentage. We just saw the opportunity, and we thought to use all this knowledge that we have on the market and
to bring it to the Golden Visa space.
Indeed.
Well, we're glad to have you, and we're going to dig a little bit more about that in a few minutes. Janos, maybe you could give us, to our listeners as well, a bit of a history, first of the Golden Visa itself. I mean, how long has it been around? When did it begin? How many investors, as far as you know, have taken advantage of this program over the years? And maybe you could say something about in which countries has this program been most popular, and why that is.
Yeah, the program of Golden Visa in Greece started around about 2014 and is running successfully up to now, with a bit of changes lately, as you might know. And how many applicants, to the question of how many applicants have been investing, is until now, since 2014, about 11,000 of main applicants, more than 32,000, including the dependents, generating over 2.6 billion investments into the Greek real estate market. Who are those applicants and where they're coming from? That's an interesting question, because 70% of those applicants are from China.
Wow, okay.
And then you'll see a dramatic drop of the applicants to the 800 will be Lebanese,
okay, yes.
Turkish,
yes.
So,
but a big drop after China. China's always the elephant
yeah,
in the room in terms of numbers.
If we refer to the American market, not so many. There are some, but in few hundreds again. So being into the US recently, we identify really that there is great potential of interest coming from the American market as well. Not only American market, but all over the world. Why the Chinese were so much interested to the Golden Visa from day one? I will say because when there was the Greek financial crisis in 2012, 13, and 14 there, a lot of Chinese institutions invested into the economy of Greece, including one of them, the main port of Piraeus. So this followed the trend of Chinese investing into Greece, and one of the ways was the Greek Golden Visa. And we saw that market really booming after that.
Now, what is it, Janos, that one has to meet in terms of qualifications or requirements for this program? Is there any main requirements other than having the funds to make the purchase, to complete the purchase of property?
For those interested to invest into the Greek Golden Visa, first of all, we remember that in some areas it's the government increased the threshold, basically in the center and south of Athens, from 250 to 500. In all the rest of the areas, of course, excluding Mykonos, Santorini, and Thessaloniki. The rest of Greece is an investment in the real estate for 250,000 euro at least. With the cost roundabout, it will end up to 275 to 80, something like that, with the disbursements, the different disbursements. The documentation needed for the application is quite simple, which I'm sure you will communicate to each one of the clients according to their family status and their family situation. So very basic documentations, very simple, and basically that's it. There is not special sales and purchase agreement, of course. Very important thing is the buyer needs to transfer from his personal name to the seller the funds. So very simple process, very clean
cut.
Yeah, clean cut.
Panos, you're a developer with Green Properties. Do you think that this price gap that the government brought between, more remote parts of the country versus the more internationally popular and dense areas of the country, that gap between 250 and 500, do you think that this policy change will bring more investment to the remote parts of the country? Or do you think that the foreign investor, the golden visa applicant, is likely to still privilege the more popular areas?
I believe that the ones that they intend to invest in the country and keep it as a second home or as a holiday place, they will stick with the 500 or so. But there is also opportunities in the 250 area, which most of the people are focusing. They are trying to do the procedure with lower budget properties. And this will actually give more returns to their investment because, the areas that they are still at 250 budget are having a potential to increase the
So you see upside in some of those markets?
Certainly, I do, certainly.
Okay.
And this might be the reason that they didn't want to increase more than 500, so they keep it.
Well, I think you're right. From what I understand of this market, you'll have a lifestyle buyer who's likely to still look at the 500 plus, and just because it's a place that they want to consume and enjoy. But those are maybe, as you say, slightly different budget and want, again, the privilege of a second residency. Access to Europe will do so at the 250 price point. I have this quote from CNBC's Karen Gilchrist. She was writing, "Escaping to the Greek islands is the stuff of fantasy for many, best lived out over a 2-week vacation. For others, it's a lifestyle choice." So now, Janos, according to my research, there's over 2,000 islands in Greece, and almost 170 of them have residents on those islands. So there's still plenty of choice. But are you recommending for people to invest in the mainland rather than the islands, or not? And why is that?
As I said from the beginning, our target is always to listen to the actual needs of the client. So yes, if the client emotionally wants to buy a property in a very specific island, of course, he will proceed to buy in that specific island because he's in love with that. But looking at this matter from the investment point of view and connected to the residency by investment market, most of the residency by investment potential clients, they are interested to buy a property as a vehicle to get their golden visa.
That's right.
Or they are interested to buy this property as a plan B and rent it out meanwhile. So having that in mind, if we now turn towards the islands, in the best case scenario, an island is seasonal up to 6 months. So meaning that property will be rented out only on short-term basis and only based on 6 months, where mainland and around main cities like Thessaloniki or Athens, what's the special thing about that? Please note that over 50% of Greeks live and work around Athens. So it's highly populated areas with too many potential tenants. And when you hear about investments coming in Greece or a big company, international company comes in Greece, they go round about Athens. So where do you want to be? Where do you want to have your property? or the potential tenants round about Athens.
Makes
So
sense, yeah.
it makes sense to be near an international airport. Athens is one of them, or Thessaloniki. To be around an international port, because all these islands, you could visit them with a short flight or a ferry.
That's right.
So basically being around Athens, where there is all year round tourism, is probably the best solution for someone looking to have a property rented out
Yes.
and trouble-free.
Yeah, I think you're absolutely right. It makes total sense, right? If the objective is getting a return on that asset, which in property means renting it out, then you want to be where there's a rental market. And cutting yourselves to an island will limit the propensity or the ability to certainly lease that throughout the year because it's seasonal often. So all very good points. And it plays well into your world, Panos, because I know you have a very large pool of properties that you're making available to our clients. So here's the key question our clients will want to ask you. What investment return would they be able to expect? What do they get for the money that they invest under the Golden Visa here at
Thanks
Green
for asking for this.
Yeah.
I will carry on with what Janos was saying. 80% of our properties are in Athens.
Okay.
So, but across all of our properties and our developments, we are giving 4% net return on customers' investment.
Excellent.
And we are taking care of everything. So it's totally hassle-free for them. It's one-stop shop. And we are making a contract 5 years with a customer that we are taking care of it. So what we will do behind it, we will furnish it, we will put appliances, we will run after the tenants, bills, so they don't have to care if the property will be free for a few months or they have peace of mind.
And if the client, on the other spectrum to what we were describing, which those looking for a return, want it maybe on an island for lifestyle purposes, that too, you have a product for that clientele, would you say as well?
Sure, yeah.
What would you describe as your best lifestyle offerings, and what part of the country? Is it throughout the country?
Athens is always going to be number one because it offers everything. The sea is around the corner, the center of Athens is there. So Athens is number one for sure.
Yes.
And then you have the islands. We have project in islands, half an hour in a ferry from Athens, from Piraeus port. We have 5-6 projects in Crete, which is the biggest island of Greece. So yes, for the ones that they are looking for a second property to combine the Golden Visa with our holiday needs, we have Crete. We have Aegean Island around the corner from Athens, so there are solutions. And even if you will invest in Athens itself, you are 20 minutes from the beach.
Yeah.
So you have everything.
There's everything there.
So
Well said. Well, listen, we'd love to hear from you. YouTube watchers, please leave your questions in the comments section. And those listening on the podcast, don't forget to send us your emails at questions@theglobalpassportinvestor.com.
The greatest investment you could ever make is an investment in your future. Rift Trust and Latitude Group is the leading provider of residency and citizenship solutions for high net worth individuals.
Our clients are like our extended family. We're a global firm with a local focus.
What makes us truly unique is our leadership team. 100 years of combined industry experience, and we're working every day with governments to improve and build new residency and citizenship programs.
Obtaining a second residence or citizenship is the best modern insurance policy for you and your family.
Our clients
Expect the world.
We deliver it.
Hello to freedom.
Now, Janos, you know this residency and citizenship space quite well. Other European countries offer golden visas too, right? We have the likes of Malta and Portugal, and even the Spaniards have their version of this. How does Greek residency by investment compare to those other European destinations?
The Greek Golden Visa, first of all, it's a smooth trip between 60 to 90 days from the day of application and giving your biometrics. It's not too much of a documentation needed, complicated documentation, but also it's important to note that it's a permanent golden visa. So you don't need to, it's not temporary now and then it becomes permanent. It's permanent day one. And it's renewed as long as you keep your property. Another key factor is that the renewal fees, disbursements, are very low compared to other countries. Plus another benefit that the client has is there is no residency requirement. Plus one more is that if one day this buyer wants either to upgrade or to exit the golden visa, and if he sells and makes a profit, it's going to be tax-free. So the capital gains from his property selling
From the Greek taxation point
from
of
a
view?
Greek taxation point of view, is tax-free. Meaning, if he bought the property today at 250, and in 10 years he wants to be out, he doesn't want his property, his golden visa to be renewed, and he's doubling his money, he pays zero tax.
Wow. Okay.
And another good thing is that if this property is passed on to the new generation, there is no inheritance tax up to the level of 800,000 euros.
Wow, that is actually quite a compelling attribute and benefit. Now, for our listeners to understand, so you make this investment, you say it's a permanent visa, but it's still something that you have to renew, but the conditions to renewing is simply still maintaining your investment. What is the terms of these visas that the government issues? Is it a 2-year visa that gets renewed every 2 years, or is it a 1 year? Is it a 5 years?
It's a 5-year,
Okay.
and it's renewed at a very easy process, as I explained before. As long as we can prove to the government you are still holding this property, your visa is renewed. It can include another important thing is that with your investment of 250, you can include your parents and your parents-in-law. So it's basically a 250 for 3 families.
3 families.
And children up to the age of 21.
And they don't have to, up to the age of 21 and not still in school, just under the age of 21.
Yes.
So, okay. So
Yeah,
that's
but if the child goes over 21, then he automatically loses the golden visa, and then they will need to rethink if that is needed, probably to do a separate application.
And can you comment on the pathway or the journey to citizenship? Let's assume it's not somebody who does 0 days or 7 days, but winds up really committing to Greece. They have the card, they bought property, they're playing a lifestyle. Maybe there's even, I know that Greece also has a tax regime that's based on 100,000 euros a year. So for that person who actually dedicates time and physical presence and maybe even learns a little bit of the language, how long does it take before they can apply?
I will say let's look at the Greek golden visa as a residency offering.
Okay.
There is the possibility of becoming a Greek citizen if you spend 7 years in the country and learn up to a level of Greek language. Yes, that's the option is there, but still
You're not selling it as that. You're saying it's a residency.
It's a residency.
Yeah.
We say it's a residency, and if someone meets the criteria of the government to become a citizen in 7 years, then fine, yes. But we do not approach clients telling them, buy it because in 7 years, with these minimum requirements, you become a citizen. No, it is a residency scheme.
Agreed. And of course, with Greece being part of Schengen Europe, you with this card have the benefit of visa-free travel within the Schengen European area, so that's also a powerful proposition. For some clients, for North American clients, they don't think about that so much because their passport affords them that, but for other parts of the world, that's an attribute. Gentlemen, we're at the stage of our show where we play a little game or have a frank anecdota time. Anecdota time where we come to one another with unique stories. We're asking you to think about or imagine yourself being in a Greek tavern, you and I, all of us, and we're going to be swapping anecdotes. I'm going to ask you to share one anecdote, one story, one funny tale, whether it's about Velment or green properties, or it's about Greece, or it's about the industry, it's whatever you think is worth a funny anecdote. Who wants to go first?
All right.
Panos.
Okay.
Pretend we're sipping a little ouzo.
Yeah, yamas.
Okay, good.
Cheers. So, the first which comes in my mind, it's not as a joke itself, but like a funny incident. You know, in Greece, it's very common the bonds between parents and the kids.
Yes.
And sometimes this relation enter to a certain degree that it might be funny for the rest of the world. So I'm going to say that I was with customers, locals, to see an apartment, and it was this couple that they were buying the property, young ones. They had one kid, and they were looking for something like with 2 bedrooms, things like that. So we saw the property, everything was fine. And then we came to a stage that the mother-in-law should come over to have a double check. So we have the second meeting. Mother-in-law showed up and said, okay, nice property. Where is my room?
That's a close family, huh?
Yeah.
Yes.
What are you talking about? Or, story started like this, and they didn't buy.
Oh, no.
They didn't come to an agreement for non-third room availability.
The kids thought this was their chance to finally carve out mom. That's a good one.
But I wanted to just disappear the discussion because I was so uncomfortable with
that would be a little bit awkward.
Yeah.
We all had versions of that. Not so much the where my room, but certainly when can I come over? And
yes.
Janos, what could you share with our audience today?
You know, in this industry we meet interesting people.
Yes, we do.
And from all over the world. So if I go back a decade, I was introduced to a couple, an African couple. So I had to pick them up from the hotel. It was going to be an investment of 3 million plus.
Oh, okay.
So the gentleman comes with his wife. I was supposed to pick them up in the morning. They told me come at 3 p.m. Eventually found out that why 3 p.m. because the gentleman likes his siesta. Okay, so I go to the hotel, very well organized, planned everything with timelines to give them a comfortable experience. So I go there, I wait for the couple to come. I even remember the incident, how he was walking downstairs, and he looked at his watch and he says, Jano, you have 1.5 hours. I said, 1.5 hours to find a property of 3 million plus? Yes, I don't have more than 1.5 hours. I said to him, but it's a bit impossible because I have 5 properties to show you. But anyway, we will work something out. There is a development which is actually 3 minutes drive from here. We're just gonna drive there and show you this property. The gentleman says, it's enough. It's nearby. I said, yes. Okay, we go there. We go out of the car. It was a construction site, a waterfront property, big property. On construction, the property was on construction. So he goes out, he looks at the property, he goes around the property, says to me, okay, take me back to the hotel in half an hour. We go back to the hotel. And we stand out of the car, and he puts his hand on my shoulder and says, I will send my civil engineer. He will look at it. And if he says yes, I'll buy it. And that was it.
God, on the first one. You called it right, though. You chose the one closest. That was obviously a good product, but that's a trust.
And he proceeded, and it is actually now it's his main property to live by the sea, a property that is really worth probably double the money today.
Oh, no kidding. Oh, that's even better.
Yes.
That's even better.
So in 1.5 hours, we shortcutted it to half hour, and we did it.
Exceeding expectations.
Yes.
Wow, that's great. Great, both of you, great stories. We covered a fair bit together. Now we're going to ask you any final questions or comments that you'd like to share with the audience. Is there anything else that we didn't talk about that you felt compelled to share? Yeah, all good?
I will say something that
Please.
I usually say to everyone I meet and discuss about this industry of citizenship and residency. People tend to ask me, who actually goes for a new residency or an alternative residency or alternative citizenship? My answer is that everyone in this world, the challenging world we are living, he needs an alternative residency and an alternative citizenship. Just they don't know about it.
Yes.
So, including myself, including you, I know you have multiple citizenship. I have multiple residencies as well. So yes, everyone is in need of a plan B.
Yeah, I'll corroborate that. You're 100% right. And there's early parts of my career where we were talking about these types of solutions to Americans and Canadians, which, as you know, I'm from, and they'd look at us and say, why would I bother with, I have everything I need, I'm a Canadian, I'm American. And we all know the story with North America, and in America in particular, with still the largest number of wealthy individuals on planet Earth are in that country. And they've had it all, but at the same time, they've had it all in terms of turbulence in the last decade, some would say in the last 5 years. And now, too, the Americans realize it's a good idea to have a plan B. Huh? So it's not just a China thing, it's not just a Russia thing, it's not just a Nigeria thing, it's a global thing. You said it absolutely right. Everyone should have alternative residency or citizenship.
We've been doing in this. We've been in this industry for quite long, and I'll remind you, if you forgot, the first time we met, it was in Miami in 2013.
13, 14, yeah, something
In
like
13.
that. Okay.
And tell me if you remember, if any American at that moment will be interested or will imagine today there is a need of a plan B.
Yeah, at that time they weren't thinking about it, but they are now.
And in the industry we serve people coming from jurisdictions and passport holders of countries that can visit literally any country in the world.
Yeah.
Japanese, South Koreans. So we see even those clients seeking for a plan B, citizenship or residency. It's just some people yet, or many people yet, did not understand the reason why. And that's why we're here,
That's right.
to explain why a plan B needs to be on our shelves.
Indeed, indeed. Well said, Janos. Thank you both for your time, Panos and Janos.
Thank you for having us.
Yes, you guys were fascinating guests. Listeners and viewers, stay tuned for the next episode of the Global Passport Investor, where we continue to walk you through the wonderful world of investment migration. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, guys.
We did it. We did it.